Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And I was thinking, with everything going on in the world right now, they're talking about recession. The economy is crazy. We got war going on in other countries. It's just, don't kids feel that too? What's the anxiety level of our children right now? So you know who I called. I called Katherine Sellery, and she is here. So sit right there. We're going to answer that question. We'll be right back.
Expert Talk is sponsored by Pod Nation TV, the podcast to broadcast network.
Welcome back. Yeah, I know. We're talking about it in our household too. It's like there's so much stuff going on. And how does it actually affect our children? We kind of forget that the little guys and the little girls are actually living this with us, and they're feeling it too. So who do you call? You call Katherine Sellery, and that's what I did. Hey, Katherine, are you out there?
Hey, I sure am. Great to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you. We're on the doorstep of 2023. Whew.
Yeah.
2023. It feels like yesterday was 1985. We won't get into that. And I'm just saying it does. I woke up, it was 2023 almost. What's going on with the economy? They're talking mini recession, whatever the heck that means.
I know.
The war, people are testing, missiles and rockets in countries. The kids have got to feel that too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we can't shelter our children from the fact that they're getting all the media we're getting. They're probably in some of their classes, depending on the kids in social studies and whatnot, they're talking about it. And, these are actually real life political science, situations that are being used in the classroom, because there are so many questions we have to ask ourselves and our kids as well. But as adults, we have just a bit more of a center to be able to handle the anxiety and have more skills usually around that, and kids don't. So they can get so anxious. I think COVID was a perfect example of that, where, they're not sure what's going on, but their whole world has been disrupted. Right. And the anxiety that kids have felt is off the charts. I mean, it really is the number one thing that we as parents will notice, is that our kids right now, anxiety is the most common childhood mental health disorder.
Here in Las Vegas, I'm in Las Vegas, and the teen suicide rate is unbelievable in this town. It is absolutely crazy. You can't turn on the news or look on your phone for local information without seeing where a family has hurt another family member, or, a child, a teenager has taken their own life or attempted to do so. And all this started with being locked in the home during COVID. How do you address that? What do you say? When your son, your daughter's friends are literally leaving the planet and they're not even 19 years old yet.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking. I think the first thing you need to do is you need to talk about it. So opening the door of communication, talking about it, listening to your children's grief, their anxiety, their fears, their worries. Sometimes they're more scary and bigger when they're held inside. So just being with your child, allowing them to verbalize their feelings, helping them to get as specific as possible about, what they're experiencing inside, and resist the urge to downplay your kids' fears to protect them, because honesty really is the best policy. And assure them that they're capable of dealing with these challenges and that you're there to assist them should they feel that they need it. But kids just really need us to hold space for them. One of my teachers, Marshall Rosenberg, used to say, don't do something, stand there. So just standing there, being present with them in the pain of it all, and allowing them not to become merged with the high emotion where they lose their identity and they just become the pain, but to be present to the fact that they are bigger than what's bugging them. So that's sort of like the best way of putting it, is to have a sense of self that's so expansive, so large, that I can turn toward whatever that is inside that's hurting, and I can be authentically acknowledging it, not downplaying it, present to it, and not merging with it and losing my sense of identity. So as long as I'm centered, I can turn toward anything. But teaching ourselves, because let's face it, a lot of us never learn to get bigger than what's bugging us. And we have a tendency to collapse into high emotion. And so first we master it so that we can then support our children to master it. Breath work really helps. And so, I suggest and teach breath work as well in my practice. So first of all, let's talk about it. Then we can focus on the positive by reframing the negative thoughts and focusing on what our children can look forward to, not to like pretend that we're diverting away from, yeah, that's horrible, let's go over here and have a cup of coffee. But no, from the perspective that, we're here, and how can we be present, and what can we do to remind them and ourselves that we can be of service, that we can enjoy things, and also we can bring the light. So practicing positive self-talk is a good step. So rather than thinking the world is falling apart and I'm alone, we can start to practice things like, I'm sad, I'm really missing, I'm grieving, and acknowledge that. And I also can feel the loving support of my family and other friends. And I'm so happy to be with them also. So begin to be a little bit more nuanced about it.
Wow, that's powerful what you just said. And, I'm sitting here thinking that how important it is for, as a parent to be transparent with your kids. Because I remember being a little kid and we'd have breakfast for dinner. And I just thought that was cool. Well, it turned out we couldn't afford to buy dinner, but they didn't want to share that. They didn't want to. They would rather punish me for something silly instead of just saying they can't afford for me to go to the amusement park with my friends or whatever. So I always felt like there was something wrong going on with me. And in reality, they were going through financial hardship and stress and things like that. So how important really is it to be transparent, even about financial issues?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I can appreciate what you're saying, especially because of your own experience of feeling like, is it about me? Did I do something wrong? And of course it's not. And, how can you share that in ways that also don't burden the child? Right. So, I mean, I think that would be the caveat, is to know what is appropriate, a lot based on the age of the child. So what you would be telling to a very young child can be very different than what you would tell to an older child. You can share the fact that, we're not always going to be able to do everything and we live on a budget. But even if we can't partake in everything, we still have fun in our family and we learn how to have joyful experiences regardless of money. Because we do know that money has nothing to do really with joy and happiness, So while a child,
I learned that in my 30s.
Yeah. I mean, we know so many, extremely rich people who are miserable. So the joy and the happiness comes through how we live our lives, right? Who am I and what am I bringing into this moment? So I can choose a lot of things in order to command my thinking about a situation, which of course is going to command how I feel about it.
Alan just threw up the 2-minute warning. I swear to goodness, he has a much faster clock than I do.
I don't know what's going on with that guy.
I don't know what's going on with Alan. We'll talk about it later off the line. But we're right at the door of 2023.
Yeah.
2022 has had really high highs and some serious lows going in. And 2023 is looking a little stormy as we look at it from here. We don't have a crystal ball to tell us how it's really going to be. But what would you tell families, going into the new year to get ready for what may be a roller coaster year that's coming?
I think it's kind of back to that idea that when we're so centered inside, we're impervious to what's happening around us. So in that event, our stocks can go up, our stocks can go down. our savings can go up, our savings can go down. We can look at that as the observer, and through that observer self, we stay calmer and more confident when we're talking about the things that can make our children anxious. And let's face it, predictability usually helps us feel secure. And one of the things we're going into is some pretty unpredictable, weather out there. We don't really know.
Definitely.
You can counter that by doing some of the things like waking up, making your bed, having breakfast, going to school, doing your homework. We can create some routines that will support all of us in feeling like we have a little bit of control over our lives, when the reality is we don't have a lot of control over anything. But those things we can control. We can control whether or not we get lost in our feeling world and become merged versus, wow, can I stay centered? And can I stay calm within myself, knowing that what I always get to choose is my perspective.
You're amazing. I love you. Thank you for always coming when I call. If I need family help, I call Katherine. That's how I go. Can you tell everybody how to get in touch, where they reach out, all that good stuff before Alan cuts us off?
Thank you so much. Before Alan cuts us off, please, first of all, go to freeparentingbook.com and download your free 7 strategies to help you with the anxiety that your kids are facing and problems. And also, you can go to my website, which is consciousparentingrevolution.com.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. Please come back often in 2023 because we need you. It's about to get stormy. We need our Katherine in our corner. So I hope you come back often.
Absolutely.
You're the best. Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know what to do. Go to tigodirect.com, type in Katherine, type in family. She's coming up. Reach out to her directly. It costs you nothing. It costs her nothing. It's just our way to make sure everybody stays connected. Hey, Happy New Year if you're watching this live. And if not, I hope you had a great 2023. Send me a message. Let me know how it went. All right. I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time.